Welcome to Oil Ocean Zone, the first in a line of zones that I really don't care for, and they're the reasons I don't like this game as much as Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That being said, Oil Ocean definitely isn't the worst zone in the game, oh, nowhere near. But I don't care for most of the platforming obstacles. Collapsing bridges aren't the worst at all. And these little caps that get launched up though, I definitely don't care for those because you have to wait around on them. And the worst in this area are the elevators. But to be fair, depending on where they're positioned, those fans can also be a nuisance. Sometimes they do help, but most of the times they can push you away from elevators or stuff like that. But basically, if you screw up a platforming section, or Tails steals the elevator will be stuck. I think you can respawn it back to its original position, but if you can, you have to go pretty far away from them. And this isn't exactly a zone where that's easy to do all the time. I mean, it's not cluttered or anything, but it's hard to get some distance at certain points. But we'll get back to that later because we're at our final special stage, and thank goodness for that. I remember this last section of the special stage pretty well, but I don't remember the first two sections. I do like this part, I think, because it's a pretty good back and forth. The rhythm does feel weird, like times... No, not that one. I think there's a point where it feels... Yeah, that one. Something like that. It feels like you need to switch before that, but then you don't. You actually have to stay on the same side. I think it's when you're kind of changing curves like that, when it curves around. Something like that. Basically, in order to get this, I had to memorize the pattern. Though, to be fair, I still find it pretty fun. And hey, we're 15 rings over what we needed. Ooh, but now we need to get a lot of rings. So this one was a similar thing? Another going back and forth? Yeah, I guess it's just another back and forth, except more dangerous, because there are mines everywhere. So, screw up and stay on the wrong side, like that, and you're gonna have a face full of mine, which is definitely bad, and Tails, you have too many rings. This particular section is pretty easy to prevent Tails from getting hit. This one, on the other hand, oh, only 210 rings. That's easy, right? Well, they're just rings scattered about everywhere with no rhyme or reason. And then later there are just going to be mines everywhere that are actually really hard to avoid. I actually did this section my first try, but I apologize because this run is absolutely terrible, but I spent so many times memorizing the first section, and honestly, this section is really lenient. So I didn't really feel the need to redo it, even though it definitely does not look clean, and I'm just running my face into mines. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is the first section where I actually let Sonic get hits. Tails has been hit plenty of times, but there's really no preventing that. And oh, hello, Fancy Sky! It's rewarding you for doing so well and collecting all the Chaos Emeralds. So now we'll get the best ending, right? Well, not only that, now Sonic can change into Super Sonic. Yes, Super Sonic started in this game. Now, if we get 50 rings and then double jump, we'll be able to turn into Super Sonic, who is invincible and also goes pretty fast. Which is very fun to do, though I didn't always want to do it in this game. I say that because, I'm going to be completely honest, from this point onwards, basically whenever I get 50 rings, I'm just going to turn into Super Sonic. I don't want to all the time, but I don't know if it's just how my controller was set up, but every time I jump with 50 rings, I'm just going to transform into Super Sonic completely accidentally. Oh yeah, this is basically a Donkey Kong barrel section, minus the ones where you actually have to time where you use the barrels. And nothing up there. But yeah, so basically just a lamer Donkey Kong barrel section, which, to be fair, Donkey Kong Country Returns actually has some pretty good ones of those. I should get back to playing that. Donkey Kong Country Returns is fun, but that's neither here nor there. Oh boy, traveling projectiles. Hate it when they don't respawn. Oh, see, there you go. That's Super Sonic. He's glowing all golden, and now he's completely invincible, except for being crushed and falling off cliffs, of course. Now, I'll be honest, I really like Super Sonic as a concept because I really like super forms, And also, like, something like you'd see in Mega Man ZX, you know, like a combination robot-y form things, stuff like that. If there's two cheesy anime tropes that I like, it's those. I am a sucker for those. And yet I don't really care for Dragon Ball Z. I saw, like, that one movie where most of it was just the cast fucking around, and then I liked that first part, but after that, it got really boring because it was just fighting, and that was just... I don't like the Dragon Ball fight scenes. They're super boring. Unlike JoJo fight scenes, which are pretty great. Also, I should really stop talking about anime, because that's not Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, kinda. I mean, you have Sonic going super. That is incredibly anime, you can't deny that. Now, I haven't talked about the enemies here. They don't seem like they'd be too bad, but honestly, they really screw me up a lot. That octopus, you don't have much time to react to that guy. Oh, I actually hate this section. I think we might have seen one of these before, but yeah, you have to do that. That looks like a thing that would crush you, right? But if you go forward, there's no actual way to proceed but to stand on top of those caps and then go into whatever mechanism that happens to be. And I've never liked that, because when I first saw it, it looked like a thing that was supposed to crush me, which makes sense as an obstacle, you know. Before those little cap things were helping you, but hey, here they might actually injure you by crushing you in the ceiling. You know, that makes sense as an obstacle. You know, that's been done plenty of times in platformers, having something that seems helpful also be hazardous to you, or vice versa. You know, it's a thing that can happen, but no, you have to get crushed. Well, quote-unquote crushed anyway. There are also those weird, slowly moving spike things, but honestly, out of everything, those aren't really a problem, and also that was definitely an accidental supersonic use. Oh, and if you're wondering, the oil kind of works like quicksand in certain games. It's not instant death if you fall in, but you better jump out repeatedly, or jump repeatedly to get out, rather. Otherwise, you will drown in oil, and that is both an unpleasant and also very gross way to die. I mean, drowning in itself is pretty bad, but in oil? Ugh. That is pretty high on a list of things I would not want in my body, so actually drowning in it is pretty unpleasant. Alright, another Donkey Kong barrel section. I mean, at least it's over with quickly, but I don't know. Chemical Plants had a section like that where you're going through all the tubes, but it kinda looked cooler, to be completely honest. Because that, you know, the tubes look pretty good. Here it's just, oh, you're being shot into these weird ball things, I don't even know. Oh yeah, by the way, Supersonic breaks the boss. Eggman's in a submarine, just stand in him, he's gonna send out a little spike, whatever that happens to be. After that, he's going to fire a laser. Now, the laser, of course, hurts on its own, but for the most part you can duck under them. But if he happens to shoot a laser at the platform, that'll create a little fire wave. He didn't do it there, but yeah, that'll throw you off. He doesn't always do that. Also, did you notice the animation when Sonic was standing at the edge of the platform where he was folding his arms? That's pretty great. I like that attention to detail, but it's the end of the episode. So, next time on Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we go to the worst stage in the game. Oh boy, isn't that gonna be fun? Spoiler, no it won't be.